I still think there's a lot more money in this house somewhere, so we're going to go back in, lift floorboards if we have to, go up into the loft, lift the insulation, just absolutely every nook and cranny. You've got to look around the house around us. It's a state. Here's a man that had hundreds of thousands of pounds in the bank. This one house, with a very limited amount of equity in, is what he's desperate to keep hold of. Why is he so desperate to keep hold of a house which is literally filthy and falling down?
Ripping out floorboards and insulation doesn't reveal the cash the team are looking for.
Oh, oxygen, fresh air.
But opening post addressed to Neelam unearths bank accounts the team didn't know about.
Punjab National Bank. We found a bank account in the name of Neelam. This account, which we weren't aware of up until now, contains just over £20,000. So that's of interest. And again, there's another 40, 50, 60,000 pounds at least. So she alone has the best part of £250,000 in her bank accounts.
The arrest of Neelam does not appear to have stopped large sums of money being moved between her accounts.
30k remitted by Neelam to India. So that explains her another 30,000, well, 30,000 on this one statement.
Transferred into another of her bank accounts, or?
Yeah, interesting though, the last one was on the 17th of the 12th, 08.
17th of the 12th?
Yeah.
While they're in custody?
While they were in custody.
That's not good.
Even though Neelam has been in prison awaiting trial, some of the illegally gained money in her accounts has been squirreled away in Indian banks. But there is still over £1 million missing.
This share has been worth its weight in gold, literally to us. We immediately traced tens and tens of thousands of pounds. I suspect once I take all this paperwork away with me, sit down at a desk and go through it in a lot more detail, it may well help me trace hundreds of thousands of pounds, and that's getting towards the sort of figures that we're looking for.
Satisfied there is no hidden cash, the team decide the mortgaged house is worth little to them. They are prepared to let Jatinder Sharma keep it if he pleads guilty.
We've had a fantastic result, really. I'm pleased. Jatinder's pleaded to absolutely everything. I know he's guilty. He knows he's guilty. He's finally done a decent thing and admitted it.
There is a real sense of satisfaction of actually seeing Jatinder stand in the dock in the court and finally admit his guilt. You know, he has done all of this stuff wrong. He's lived a good life out of it. He's made an enormous amount of money.
Hugely satisfying, but still a lot of work to do.
The officers still have the painstaking job of preparing for a trial. It will be for a jury to decide whether Raki and Neelam helped Sharma to perpetrate Britain's biggest visa scam. Coming up, things get desperate for the Pakistani student at Heathrow.
Please help me.
I can't do anything, sir, OK? The rules are there for a reason.
And the verdict is in for the Sharmas. At Heathrow, the Pakistani student is waiting to hear if he can come into Britain. At first, he said he was here to take exams. Now he's accused his college of being bogus and claims his intention is to find a new college. Officer Lee refers the case to Chief Immigration Officer Sarah Dyson.
He can't explain why, in the 6 months that he was here before going to Pakistan, he has made no serious attempt to re-enroll or to find another college.
Well, I mean, I think just by doing that impacts on his credibility, doesn't it? And whilst he says, no, this college are just taking money off me, they've never provided me with any lessons, I don't think that's a good enough argument.
No.
And that shows that he's not a genuine student who's committed to studying in the UK. And also he lied. As soon as he got to the desk out there, he gave a complete rubbish story,
just
didn't he?
To secure his entry.
To secure his entry.
Yeah.
So you have to question his intentions, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, sir, I need to have a chat with you, OK? Come with me. OK, my Chief Immigration Officer has decided that we are going to cancel your visa. This is because we're not satisfied that you have been making any attempt to study in the UK. And that you lied when you came to the desk on arrival, yeah?
पानी ले आओ मेरे साथ पहले धोखा हुआ है He goes, I've been deceived before. मैं घर गया हूँ इसी के लिए That's why I went home.
He goes, if there's any studying going at that college...
I am going to write a report. From the information you've given me, I will make sure that is passed on to our college, the people that look at colleges, okay? So they will be looked into, I can promise you that. Yeah?
Please help me.
I can't do anything, sir, okay? The rules are there for a reason. I can't just permit you to come into the UK as a student because you're not a student. You never have been. You must understand the reason why we have to enforce the rules. It's hard to say whether he's been a victim or not, from the fact that he maintained throughout the interview that he'd paid money in good faith and had not received what he'd paid for, that he may well have been a victim. The minute we then contact the college concerned, it could be that they didn't want us investigating them, so they've denied all knowledge of him. Who's to say who's telling the truth and who isn't? It's just the bare facts are that he didn't study when he was given a visa to study. That's why it's been cancelled.
The passenger was detained overnight and put on a flight back to Pakistan the next day. Officer Lee handed the information about the suspected bogus college over to colleagues in the investigation team. It's been more than a year since the UK Border Agency and police raided the offices of Univisas and discovered fraud against the Home Office on a massive scale. Company boss Jatinder Sharma has already pleaded guilty.
Well, Alice, one of the many striking things about this case is the arrogance of the man who ran the scam. He was so confident he could get you into this country illegally. He offered clients a no-win, no-fee option.
Today, after a 4-week trial, the jury is expected to deliver their verdict on Sharma's wives, Neelam and Raki.
Raki, she's offered a number of defences. You know, if one fails, we'll try the other. If that fails, we'll try the other. First of all, I didn't know anything about anything. But then, if I did know, or if the jury believe I did know about it, then I'm going to offer a defence of marital coercion. Neelam's defence is just, at the time, I wasn't aware of any wrongdoing. If it happened, and she has kind of accepted it did happen, then it's down to Raki and Jatinder.
It's for the jury to decide if they're telling the truth. By gambling on a trial, the women risk receiving tougher sentences if found guilty. It takes 4 days of deliberation before the jury reaches a majority decision.
We've had a brilliant result today. We've now had all verdicts returned on Raki and Neelam. Neelam was convicted on the money laundering charge. Raki was convicted on everything, all of the charges against her. We've just come out of court. Jatinder's been in the dock with them, and all 3 have been sentenced.
The jury accepts that Neelam was not behind the fraud, but she is sentenced to 4 years in prison for laundering some of the £3 million that poured into Univisas. Raki conspired with Sharma to defraud the Home Office by submitting bogus visa applications.